And believe it or not, I've been retired 27 years. I've gotten 2 more awards last year.
After you retired?
Yeah, 27
They're still giving them to you?
after I retired.
You don't have room for them.
No.
This one's, wow.
They made them into little stuff.
What is that? Outstanding picture, 1963, Jack. That's you? Look at that. Oh, you know what I want to see, Jack? I want to see,
That's my daughter.
I know. I want to see the, your old camera that I moved around a couple times. Who's that? You got
That's all of us.
all of us. John Wayne.
William Holden.
Will Holden.
And
you.
And the producer. And me. And that's not a good friend.
Joe Rosenthal.
Yeah.
What do you know about him?
Joe and I are real good friends.
What'd you do?
And we meet him every year at the National Press Photography thing. And we happen to be in Washington, D.C. when they dedicated that statue there in Washington.
You were there when that picture was taken?
And I was out there, and it was crowded and everything. So I went back to the hotel, and he was there and waved. And we went over to have breakfast together, and he said, well, did you get some pictures? And I said, heck no, it was too crowded. He says, I didn't either. We caught a cab, just he and I went out, and it wasn't with 2 people out there. We shot what I wanted.
That's the Apollos. What years were those?
Yeah.
They did that a while, huh? They did those every year? You did them?
Huh?
You did the Apollos for how many years?
From the time it started until they had gone to the moon and put the house up. I've shot pictures of the house. In those books up there.
There's pictures of the house that the all the Apollo. You got any top secret information? That's you and Neil Armstrong? I love it. Wow, Jack, when there was another question I wanted to ask you. Man, I keep on forgetting it. Football games. You play with you shot the original Louisiana games?
Yeah, not only that, I shot all of them. I mean, I had to cover. I covered the Saints the first game they ever played down there, and I flew the plane down with the people and my 2 reporters, and they wanted to eat, and we were running late, and the Saints were fixing to kick off. When we got there, they kicked off. I got my cameras walking down the sideline. The Saints guy took the ball and ran 100 yards for a touchdown on the kickoff. And I didn't have a picture of him.
Oh!
But the next time he ran with the ball, I had a picture of him.
Hey, on a picture of Rosenthal over here, this one, you said they took a few of those pictures, huh? You were in the World War II when they did that? You were near where they took that?
Yeah.
What were you doing there?
Huh?
You were on the same ship with him?
No, not on the same ship. No, he was on another ship.
Oh.
But we knew each other.
Oh, okay.
In the service.
Uh-huh.
And I was supposed to go where he went, but we had engine trouble, and I had to go back to Pearl Harbor, and he went on to there, and they sent me over to another island, and I waited ashore at that island.
Well, I gotta ask you, Jack. In the history of photography, right? Your grandfather did something with photography. Or your dad did something.
Yeah, that's how I got started.
That's how you got started, and then you used to transmit the AP wire out of your what?
Huh?
You used to transmit the AP wire out of your station wagon.
Yeah. Well, that thing there tells my whole life history.
Oh, the legacy of the picture there? Oh, does it?
Yeah, and the girl that wrote it wrote the whole thing.
Oh, she came in here and seen all your pictures?
Huh?
She came in here and saw all your pictures?
Oh, yeah.
She didn't paint your ceiling, though.
No.
I did that.
Yeah.
Oh, Jack, I miss you so much.
And this, you ever heard of him, Ernie Powell?
Uh-uh.
Well, Ernie Powell was a great writer.
Uh-huh.
And he did Africa a lot. And he was at Okinawa when I was there.
Okay.
Yeah, and when the war was over with in Okinawa, he came to the press party we were all having. Because my LST I was on was leaving, and the artist was from Shreveport that was on there, and he and I had gotten to be friends. And Ernie Powell, and we all was sitting there talking, and Ernie tried to talk us into going over this little island mop-up operation. And we all said, heck no, I can't. My LST's leaving, so I'm going to have to leave. So I left on the LST and went off. And we hadn't been gone long. We heard Ernie Powell got killed. Well, they buried him over there, and that my artist was there. He went, and he did a thing. When he got home to Shreveport, he made that and gave it to me.
That's beautiful. Wow, Jack, I just can't believe all your credentials. Like, all of these things. Where's the CIA stuff?
Yeah, well.
I want to...
Well, like here, that's a press club there.
Is that Richard?
I can go to it.
That's Richard, isn't it?
It's Richard. He's still around.
How's he doing?
Oh, and Nixon gave me this.
Did he?
And I can sit in his box in the chamber when they having everything.
Hey, wait, did you go on Air Force One with JFK?
No, I went on Air Force One with what's-called from...
Ronald Reagan?
Ronald Reagan, yeah. This was 3 months before he got killed.
Hey,
in Dallas.
What do you know about John Wayne?
Oh, he and I go all the way back. I mean, I met him during the war there when they were making the horse soldier, and he was there down there too. And that's the Red River behind him. And when he called me and he said, "Meet me at the airport. I want to talk to you." So I went out to talk to him, and he and Ronald Reagan come walking down. And I said, "Duke, what do you want to talk to me about?" And he said, "Well, I'm going to make a movie down in Natchitoches called
Horse Soldier."
There, and he says, I don't want anybody shooting my pictures but you." And I said, "Duke, I can't do it all the time because I have other stuff I have to cover." He says, "Well, do it when you can." And I says, "I will." And I did. And I shot that picture of him. And he liked it so much that he wrote on there, "Jack, a lot of the Red River has passed since we met." He says, "Hell, you don't know me as John Wayne." He signed it Duke.
Oh, nice.
He signed Duke.
That's good. What about Ford? Did you hang out with him?
Yeah. I met him in Washington, D.C. And my son made the front page. He was 8 years old. It's a picture of him somewhere down here.
Oh, with the butter, and when he went to the...
And I handed him one of my cameras, and he took it and walked up and shot a picture.
Of the president on the White House lawn?
Yeah.
Was it the Easter egg roll?
Huh?
What was it, the Easter egg, or what was it?
No, he was here in Monroe.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so... All the cameras went on him, and the newsreel cameras and everything. We had to go to the movies to see the newsreel cameras. My son walking up and shooting a picture of him. Anyway, so when as time went on, and I don't know where it is, but it was laying out here.
What is it?
These are people I know had passed away.
Oh, yeah, we used to read the
He used to work for me.
Did he?
Bill Carter.
What about, didn't you work for Polton, the chainsaw guy? Weren't you Polton pilot? Polton? What's his name? Polton. What's the chainsaw guy? Wasn't you a personal pilot for a guy who started the chainsaw company?
Yeah. Oh, Doug Attaway.
Yeah.
Owned the paper. And also owned Channel 12 at the time, and I flew him all the time. And I have to get a pilot's license every year. So they sent me, and I get my physical all checked out, and the paper paid for it. And I went in there one day, and the girl says, "You're flying Doug Attaway, aren't you?" And I said, "Yeah, I fly him all the time." He says, "You know he's a millionaire." I says, "Yeah, he's my boss." He says, "Well, anybody that flies a millionaire has to have 2 licenses a year." And then they had to pay me for my
second training
license twice a year.
Wow.
And I never had to pay a doctor's license.
Didn't you fly down and do weren't you doing something with the original Superdome when they were building a Superdome? Weren't you flying Edwards?
I had to fly him down every month on that Superdome thing, and he would make me go in there and sit with him while we were talking. Then we'd go get something to eat.
You did a lot of flying around in Louisiana, huh?
Yeah.
Bob Hope. You did Bob Hope. What did you know about him?
Oh, I met Bob Hope during World War II down in Guadalcanal. He put on a show, and I just happened to walk in. And, of course, I could go backstage with my license and everything. And I got to meeting him and talking to him. And then he came to Camp Pendleton in Oceanside, California. And I met him again there, and we talked. And he says, "I'm coming to Shreveport to put on a thing next month." And he did. He came in doing Holiday in Dixie deal here, and I introduced him around, and I said, "What are you doing tonight?" He says, "Well, I'm busy tomorrow night, but I don't have anything tonight." And I said, "You and I going to Ernest." And we went to Ernest, and he fell in love with those crab claws. And little Ernie used to have to send them to him to California.
Really?
And then I'd get a phone call, "Hey, Jack, I'm flying to Miami. Pick me up at the airport. I'm going to spend the night in Shreveport. We're going to Ernest." And we did that 3 times.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
So what other presidents? Bill Clinton.
Oh, I knew Bill Clinton from Arkansas. I knew a lot about him.
What did he have going on?
He was governor of Arkansas.
What do you have going on?
Well, I can't go into that.
Yeah, you ain't going to lose. Jack, can tell what, you had some girlfriends?
The state troopers kept me informed of what was going on.
And what was he had going on? Some girlies?
And what that gal was in Dallas and whatever. Yeah, he did.
Let's go outside and see what's going on. I don't know if this is even working or not. I'll find out later.